Before the world was shrunk by satellite maps and global internet networks, there existed a land that lived only in the whispers of traders along the ancient Tea-Horse Road. They called it Druk Yul, the land of the Thunder Dragon. Tucked away behind the eternal stone walls of the Himalayas, this nation chose to remain closed to the outside world for centuries. Not out of fear, but to protect a light easily extinguished by the vortex of industrial civilization, the light of spiritual autonomy and inner peace. In a planet spinning with speed technology and economic growth figures, Bhutan stands as a captivating paradox. This is the only place on Earth that measures prosperity through gross national happiness, where forests blanket over 70% of the land to create the planet's only carbon-negative nation. In this kingdom, the boundary between reality and myth, between science and faith, becomes uncannily blurred. Leave behind the clamor of the modern world. Step through the dense mist and windswept passes into the sacred realm of Bhutan, where every footstep is a discovery and every breath a prayer. The gateway to the realm of mist. Before the world knew of satellite maps, before asphalt roads carved through the valleys, there existed a land that lived only in the whispers of traders along the ancient Tea-Horse Road. They called it Druk Yul, the land of the Thunder Dragon. We invite you to step through the dense mist, crossing the windswept mountain passes to reach the last kingdom, where myths are still being written with every breaking door. Paro, a breathtaking arrival. If the journey to other nations begins with a gentle transition, Bhutan offers a dramatic encounter. You are in the cockpit of an Airbus weaving through the jagged slopes of the Himalayas at over 2,000 meters. Outside the window, the canopies of ancient pines appear so vividly, so close, that you feel as if you could reach out and touch them. Welcome to Paro, one of the most challenging and dangerous airports on the planet. Worldwide, the number of pilots qualified and licensed to land here can be counted on one hand. At Paro, there is no room for technological error or automated navigation systems. Every life or death decision depends entirely on the eyes, the hands, and the iron nerve of the pilot facing the unpredictable whims of the wind and treacherous air currents. Bhutan chooses to test the traveler's courage from the very first moment of arrival, like a silent warning you are entering a land not meant for rushed souls. But the moment your feet touch the ground of the Paro Valley, the breathlessness of moments ago suddenly vanishes, giving way to an eerie, stunning stillness. Take a deep breath. The air here is thin cold and carries the pure scent of damp pine forests and the faint trace of burning incense. Paro unfolds before you like a watercolor painting forgotten by time. Traditional houses with whitewashed rammed earth walls and intricately carved, colorful wooden windows stand silently beside a crystal-clear glacial river flowing gently beneath the footbridge. In Paro, time is not measured in minutes or seconds, but by the gentle swaying of 5-colored prayer flags strung across the hillsides. That breathtaking arrival was, in truth, a ritual of release. It forces you to shed all the anxieties and chaotic calculations of the modern world left on the other side of the mountain, leaving your soul completely empty and ready to receive the mysteries about to unfold. The gateway to the land of the Thunder Dragon has opened. Paro has tested you, welcomed you, and is now cradling you in the most primal peace of heaven and earth. The mystical journey begins at the very intersection where life, death, and tranquility meet. Thimphu, the capital of paradoxes. Welcome to Thimphu, the capital of the Kingdom of Bhutan. At nearly 2,400 meters above sea level, it stands as one of the highest capitals in the world. Yet, geographical elevation is not what makes this city extraordinary. Thimphu is a strange entity, a metropolis existing in the heart of the 21st century, yet operating with the mindset of a bygone era. Here lies a center of captivating paradoxes, where modernity and tradition do not exclude one another, but choose to compromise and coexist. Stand at this intersection and observe. Do you notice what is missing? Thimphu is the only capital city in the world without a single traffic light. Years ago, as the wave of modernization swept in, the government installed an automated traffic signal booth here. But within just a few days, the citizens protested fiercely. They felt those cold, emotionless red and green lights were too mechanical, too foreign to their rhythm of life. And so the traffic lights were permanently removed. In their place, police officers were returned to the intersections. With rhythmic hand gestures and a gentle smile, they direct thousands of vehicles passing through each day. The Bhutanese prefer human-to-human interaction over the commands of a machine. In their world, traffic is not a battle to claim every inch of the road, but a conscious act of yielding. A stunning paradox. Thimphu resolves the gridlock of the technological age by returning to the manual ways of the past. The contrast of Thimphu is vividly clear in every slice of daily life. This is a place where you can spot a tech programmer stepping out of a modern cafe with an iPhone in hand, yet still wearing the traditional go from the 17th century. The mandatory dress code of national attire in government offices and schools is not a forced constraint, but a cultural shield, protecting them from global assimilation. In Thimphu, they adopt technology to serve life, but resolutely refuse to let technology change their identity. Walking along the clean streets of Thimphu, you will not find a single pack of cigarettes for sale, and plastic bags are strictly forbidden. The capital of Bhutan is the nerve center of the only carbon-negative nation on Earth. While other global capitals struggle with smog pollution and industrial waste in exchange for growth, Thimphu chooses to slow down. They accept limits on material development to preserve the pristine air and the green forests wrapping around the city. They understand that a pair of healthy lungs is worth far more than GDP figures on paper. And the greatest paradox, as well as the most mystical aspect of Thimphu, lies in its very operating philosophy. Tashicho Duzong, the fortress of the supreme religion, is also home to the offices of the king and the government. Here, politics and spirituality, law and faith are never separated. Every urban development decision, from building a road to licensing a business, must pass through the filter of gross national happiness (GNH). The people of Thimphu do not ask how much money will this project make. They ask, will this project make our people any less happy? Thimphu is not a city without cracks. The rapid expansion of the internet, the influx of rural migrants, and the pressures of the modern world knock on this valley's door day and night. Yet, instead of panicking to chase trends or shutting down in extreme refusal, Thimphu chooses to face them with the eerie calmness of a Zen master. They guard their paradoxes like a priceless treasure. Leaving Thimphu as the wind chimes ring softly in the still night, we come to realize this capital of paradoxes is in truth an answer to the equation of the future. It proves that modernization does not have to mean losing one's soul, and that humanity can still build a civilized metropolis without betraying nature and its own spiritual roots. Myths on the sheer cliffs Parotaksang, where the sacred realm calls. Tiger's Nest, the Tiger's Lair, the most sacred monastery in Bhutan. The path is steep, the air thinning with every footstep. Yet, strangely, as you look at the prayer flags draped across the pathway, there seems to be an invisible source of energy. Look at this reality. At an altitude of over 3,000 meters, clinging precariously to the sheer grey cliff, the Taktsang Monastery stands like an architectural miracle. Legend has it that in the 8th century, Guru Padmasambhava flew to this cave on the back of a tigress. He meditated here to subdue the wrathful spirits of the Himalayas. Inside the minimalist shrines, lit only by the flickering glow of butter lamps and the thick scent of burning incense, time seems to stand still. The statues of the Buddha, with eyes that look into your very soul, seem to remind every distant traveller of the impermanence of human life. Gangkar Puensom, the Curse of the Peaks. The world outside has conquered Everest, has set foot on the harshest terrains of Antarctica. But here there is a peak that permanently rejects human footsteps. Gangkar Puensom, a mountain rising 7,570 meters high, the highest unclimbed mountain in the world. Why is there a mountain peak that no one has set foot on in the 21st century? The answer is very simple. The Bhutanese do not allow it. To them, the high peaks are the home of deities and guardian spirits. Climbing mountains for recreation or to satisfy human vanity is a desecration. The mystery of Gangkar Puensom lies not in the difficulty of its cliffs, but in the invisible boundary that humanity voluntarily draws before nature. A supreme reverence that the modern world has long since lost. The Valley of Ageless Souls. The dance of the black-necked cranes in Phobjikha. As winter sweeps in from the Tibetan plateau, bringing a bone-chilling cold, the Phobjikha Valley transforms to welcome very special guests. The black-necked cranes, the messengers of the sky. There is a strange phenomenon that no scientist has ever been able to fully explain every time they arrive in this valley, and even when they depart, the flocks of black-necked cranes always circle the Gangte Monastery 3 times like a ritual of greeting and gratitude. In Bhutan, the lives of all living creatures are held in equal reverence to those of humans. By law, anyone who willfully harms a black-necked crane faces the prospect of life imprisonment. Yet, in reality, the people protect them not out of fear of the state, but out of a deeper belief that each crane is the earthly manifestation of a guardian deity, bringing good fortune and peace to their land. The Tarkin and the Divine Madman. And this is the Tarkin Bhutan's extraordinary national animal. Look closely at its anatomy. The head of a goat grafted onto the powerful body of a cow. It is a creature that seems conjured from the imagination of a surrealist artist. Legend has it that in the 15th century, the Buddhist master Drukpa Kunle, known as the Divine Madman, was challenged by locals to prove his miraculous powers. After devouring an entire cow and a goat, he took the remaining bones of both animals, joined them together, and snapped his fingers. A new creature stood up, running straight into the forest. That creature was the Tarkin. Elsewhere, this story would be dismissed as a mere children's tale. But here, myth and biology blur into one. The faith of the Bhutanese is so profound that it reshapes the impossible, turning it into an undeniable reality standing right before your eyes. The paradox of happiness. Happiness. What is it truly? In the world outside, it is defined by calculations, by the height of skyscrapers, the speed of internet connections, and the relentless growth of GDP. But here, at the foot of the eternal Himalayas, lies a kingdom that has quietly walked away from that race. Welcome to Bhutan, a place where happiness is not a fleeting emotional state, but a sacred covenant forged between man-nature and the guardian deities. They call this the Kingdom of Happiness. Yet behind that poetic label lies a mysterious paradox that the modern world has yet to decipher. How does a nation that once closed its borders to the outside world for centuries, a place with no traffic lights, a total ban on tobacco, and a mandate requiring citizens to wear traditional attire, to work confidently, claim to hold the key to inner peace? Is Bhutanese happiness a spiritual miracle, or the result of a deeply mysterious design? In 1972, the fourth king of Bhutan made a declaration that sent shockwaves through the global economic establishment. Gross national happiness is more important than gross domestic product. Since then, GNH has become the ultimate metric for this nation's very survival. Think about this. When your government asks you, "Did you sleep well last night?" how often do you feel envious of your neighbors? Or when was the last time you felt anger? It is not personal curiosity. It is data to run a nation. The Bhutanese believe that a wounded soul cannot build a prosperous society. Yet, to guard that inner stillness, they have had to draw some incredibly harsh boundaries. They refuse to mine their mineral reserves, though they are worth billions of dollars, choosing instead not to wound the earth. They forbid climbing peaks above 6,000 meters, for those heights are the sacred dwellings of the gods. Wealth is deferred to make way for sanctity. In Bhutan, happiness is built upon refusal. One must learn to let go before hoping to receive. The clash of the century. The protective mists of Bhutan could not ward off invisible airwaves. In 1999, Bhutan became the very last nation on Earth to connect to the internet and television. Overnight, the seal on this time capsule was shattered. Suddenly, the Bhutanese found themselves looking out at the world beyond a glittering world of material wealth, fame, and boundless desire. This is where the paradox begins to unfold. As television and the internet flooded in crime rates once virtually non-existent, began to flicker to life. Anxiety, depression, and peer pressure crept into the minds of the younger generation. They began to question, is this simple life in the valley truly happiness, or were they only happy because they had never known any other choice? To find the answer to this paradox, the Bhutanese hold a philosophy that is strangely haunting. To be truly happy, one must contemplate death 5 times a day. To the Western mind, death is an ending, a shadow of fear. But to the Bhutanese, death is a familiar companion. When you accept that everything in this world, from wealth and fame to your very physical form, is impermanent and destined to return to dust, you cease to struggle. Bhutan has never been a flawless paradise. They still grapple with poverty, the emigration of their youth, and the relentless pressure of the digital age. Yet what makes this land so mystical and profound is its courage. The courage to swim against the current, and the courage to redefine what it means to exist as human beings. Returning from the misty realm of the land of the Thunder Dragon, we suddenly realize Bhutan's paradox is, in truth, a mirror reflecting our own lives. In our relentless search for happiness in the world outside, perhaps the only thing we have forgotten is the stillness within our own souls. Bhutan is not merely a destination on a map. Bhutan is a reminder to stop, to breathe deeply, and to know what is enough. If Bhutan is a grand puzzle of the modern world, then its people are the keepers of its key. They are unlike anyone you have ever met on the bustling avenues or beneath the neon lights of the Western world that never sleep. Look into their deep, quiet eyes, beneath thick brows, and at cheeks forever flushed by the chill of eternal altitudes. In these people there is a strange energy, a steadfast serenity, as though they hold a profound secret that the rest of humanity is frantically, exhaustedly searching for. They live in the 21st century, yet their consciousness seems anchored in a peaceful harbor from 1,000 years ago. In the world of the Bhutanese, the boundary between the physical realm and the unseen has never been severed by materialist theories. They coexist with deities, converse with the spirits of the mountains and forests, and view everything around them as possessing a sacred life force. A farmer might bow his head, asking forgiveness from an ancient tree before being forced to fell it to build his home. A mountain child might point toward a distant, snow-capped peak and speak of their home in a past life with an air of quiet indifference, free from doubt or pretense. Modern science attempts to analyze this, labeling it as dogmatic religious faith. But to the Bhutanese, it is simply their everyday reality. They do not view the world through a purely secular lens. They perceive it through the invisible threads of karma, cause and effect, and the eternal cycle of rebirth. To them, every stranger passing through one's life is a connection forged thousands of lifetimes ago. The greatest paradox of these people lies in their extraordinary sense of abundance amidst material poverty. They wear the traditional Go and Kira designs unchanged for centuries, and walk for hours along steep, slippery paths to carry water home. Yet their hearts remain entirely untouched by urgency or resentment. They do not measure their worth by luxury cars or bank accounts, but by the stillness of their minds and the kindness they offer to others. Amidst the drifting mists of the land of the Thunder Dragon, this journey to understand the Bhutanese is not a quest for an exotic lifestyle to satisfy our curiosity. It is a profound, stirring encounter with our own most authentic self, a self long buried beneath the weight of ambition and anxiety. These simple people are quietly teaching us how to smile in the face of impermanence, and how to find paradise within the ultimate simplicity of human existence. sacred paradoxes. Amidst the drifting mists of the land of the Thunder Dragon, this journey to understand the Bhutanese is not a quest for an exotic lifestyle to satisfy our curiosity. It is a profound, stirring encounter with our own most authentic self, a self long buried beneath the weight of ambition and anxiety. These simple people are quietly teaching us how to smile in the face of impermanence and how to find paradise within the ultimate simplicity of human existence. Tread softly beneath the wooden eaves. In the dim twilight of the valley, you will encounter giant paintings of phalluses and even intricately carved wooden ones swaying in the wind. To the world outside this is vulgarity, a strict taboo. But in Bhutan, it is an invisible spiritual shield. The people believe these flying phalluses possess an ancient magical power, enough to deflect curses, ward off evil spirits, and protect the sanctity of the home. Here, the sacred and the fertile instantly become one. Beneath those very roofs, guarded by that strange symbol, an ancient courtship ritual known as bomena, or night hunting, unfolds in the quiet of the dark. As night falls, young men slip across fields, scaling walls, to quietly enter the rooms of the women they silently admire. There is no coercion here, only whispers by the dying embers of the hearth, seeking to win her heart. If dawn breaks and the family approves, a marriage begins. An courtship custom that may sound daring, yet it exists within a society where women hold sovereign power. In Bhutan, it is the daughters who inherit the land and ancestral property, and men upon marriage leave their own families to live in the home of their wives. It is a resilient matriarchal system protected by laws unlike any other on earth. The defiance of Bhutanese norms does not end in the bedroom or on the walls, it infuses their daily meals. In this land, chili is not a seasoning to flavor a dish. Chili is the vegetable. It is the main course. The national dish, imadachi, is cooked entirely from tongue-scorching chili peppers, melted down with rich, creamy cheese. The Bhutanese eat fire to endure the bone-chilling cold of the mountains, and perhaps to ignite a surge of vital energy within. It is a breathtaking challenge for any traveler seeking to taste the true soul of this land. And there is another strange truth on the first day of the Losar New Year. every citizen of Bhutan automatically turns a year older together. They have no concept of individual birthday parties, nor any need to remember the exact day they were born. They only remember which spring they belong to and under which zodiac animal. Here, time is not measured by selfish personal milestones. It is shared collectively by the entire community, growing old together and being reborn together, under the protection of heaven and earth. But the most mystical and majestic aspect of Bhutan is the way this kingdom protects its subjects. This is a nation with no homeless people. Should you find yourself landless, the king will grant you a plot of land to sow seeds and build a home. This is a place where healthcare and education are entirely free despite the country's poverty. Bhutan chooses to stand apart from global disputes, establishing no embassies with the world's superpowers. They have crafted an isolated oasis where human connection and the dignity of life are placed above all else. Journeying through the strange paradoxes and seemingly backward laws of Bhutan, we suddenly realize perhaps the world outside has grown too complex, while Bhutan remains beautifully primal. They preserve the mysteries of the past not out of backwardness, but because they know it is the only thread keeping humanity from being swept into the abyss. The wind chimes of the land of the Thunder Dragon still echo through the vast forests, like a mysterious whisper sent to the future.